All right, we're going to go over 1-point perspective and 2-point perspective again. You guys have seen this briefly in the basic shapes and forms lesson where we did cubes. So 1-point perspective, we'll do some quick sketches just to remind us of what the concept is. So 1-point perspective, you have a horizon line in the distance, and then somewhere you just pick a vanishing point. So it could be here, it could be there, it could be anywhere. It could be towards the middle. Why don't we, we'll just pick it over here. So if that's the vanishing point, then parallel lines that form the sides of buildings and structures or whatever we're drawing will all go back to that point. So the corner of this form, every corner will go back to the vanishing point. And you can do this just kind of as a loose sketch right now. When you're trying to make it precise, you can use a ruler, but you just draw each corner back and then add in the edges. And then you can erase the extra lines. But for now, I'll just leave them just to remind us. Okay, so if I have that cube there, maybe I'll want to draw another one. Let's draw one over here. So let's draw one a little smaller. Put it a little bit higher up, but still not above the horizon line. And then we'll take and use this same vanishing point. So it's gonna, every corner is gonna go back to that vanishing point. You wanna make that line as straight as you can. And then this one as well. Just gonna go back. And then decide where the edge is. Let's make the edge right here. And then we'll make another line that's parallel to this one for the back corner. So there's the back corner. Okay, and you just keep building like that. That's just pretty sloppy right now. Probably should sharpen my pencil. Also, probably, if you're doing this, it's a good idea to use a harder pencil. I'm using a softer pencil so it's nice and dark and you can see it. But it's easier to be precise with a harder pencil. So that's the basics of 1-point, but let's do some other simple 1-point strategies. So say we're going to be looking down at something now. And there's the vanishing point. Maybe we're looking down at a city. And we're looking down at the tops of the buildings. So we'll make a few rectangular and square shapes. And then these corners are going to go to the vanishing point. Okay, now you got to do another step though, because buildings don't go off into the distance forever. There's some place where they stop and they hit the ground. So there's another line about there. About there. About there. So again, I'm going to leave the vanishing points in the picture, but normally you would erase those or you wouldn't even draw them in the first place. You just kind of use the vanishing point to help you draw your line out. And then you can put windows on the buildings and things like that. Another way to do 1 point perspective in a similar fashion, say you want to draw a room and draw your vanishing point. Oh, there's a couple different ways to do this. I'm kind of making it a little more complicated, but you're going to draw a square around that vanishing point, and you know, I didn't get it exactly right. The easy way to do it is to make your square first. I guess I'll just do it over here. If you make your square first, and then you can connect the corners. That's an easy way to find the vanishing point, but then you have to erase more. Because that one's a little off, the one I drew there. Should be a little bit further to the right. I'll make a nice big vanishing point. Anyway, so if you do that, if you want this to be a room, you would take this vanishing point now, and you would go out from that vanishing point to draw the edge of the wall, where the wall hits the ceiling and where the wall hits the floor. I'll go ahead and erase all this now. It's a little too... I want this to be the back wall. My vanishing point is real hard to erase because I made it so big. But then you start to build features around it, like windows and doors and stuff like that. So if there's a doorway here, you're gonna connect the top of it back to the vanishing point, and maybe the other edge of the doorway is right here. So it's just vertical lines. Now maybe it's not a doorway, maybe it's a hallway. And there's a ceiling up here. So it's a vertical line. And then there's a floor right here. It goes like that. So maybe it's just a hallway going into another room over there. And then you can draw windows and other features, but everything refers back to the vanishing point. So you have vertical lines, and when you're doing 1 point perspective like this, with rectangular geometric forms, you have vertical lines, horizontal lines, and then the rest of the lines go to the vanishing point. So vertical, 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 vertical line, horizontal, 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 and then vanishing point, vanishing, 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 vanishing. And every detail that you add, if it's a line, is going to either be a vertical line or a horizontal line or a line going to the vanishing point. So like if you want to draw in the thickness of the wall, say this is a window, you make a little horizontal line there and there, and they're parallel to each other, and then you make a vertical line there, and then you use the vanishing point to draw in the ledge on the bottom. And if you're doing it accurately, I'm not doing it 100% accurate, but what should happen is this line and that line, as it comes closer to the viewer, should get further and further apart. And then when they go back, they should converge at the vanishing point. So this line, if you could see where it's headed, it should go to the vanishing point. Okay, and then the same thing up here for the top part. There's a line up here. It's real sloppy, but then you can draw things outside. Okay, so if that's the vanishing point, maybe there's a horizon line out here, and when you're looking outside, you can draw in mountains, or you can draw in little pyramid mountains in the distance. But you can draw like a fence or a pool or a walkway or whatever, and you can use the vanishing point to show where it is. Like if there's a sidewalk out here or the edge of a yard, it's going to refer back to the vanishing point. Whatever lines are outside. And if you want to make it clear that that's outside, and maybe it's a sidewalk, then you might also draw in horizontal lines, kind of like that, to show that that's flat out there. But anyway, that's 1 point perspective, 1 point perspective, 1 point perspective. And this is just a quick introduction to the techniques and methods. And we could spend some time developing one or more of these and make it look good. This is just very sketchy right now. Okay, so that's 1 point linear perspective, 1 vanishing point. Now, 2 point perspective. Again, begins with a horizon line, but now instead of 1 vanishing point, we're going to have 2. And usually there's going to be one towards the edge, on the left and the right. And we're going to build, so say now we want to do something similar to the one we started with 1 point, and we're going to do cubes. Well, in this case, we're going to start with a vertical line. And you're going to take the corner and bring it to the vanishing point on the top and the bottom, going both ways. So, about like that. And then about like that. And then the same thing up here. About like that. And then about like that. So you've got the side of a building and the other side of a building. It's just a cube right now, but then we have to decide where it ends. So let's go here. So another vertical line parallel to that one. And let's go here. So now we've got one side and the other side, but we need to decide where the back, well, we actually know where it stops. We just have to draw it. So this now is going to go to the opposite vanishing point. Like that, or so. And then this one's also going to go to the opposite vanishing point. About like that. Okay, so there's a cube in 2 point perspective. And let's draw another one. So we'll come down here. Make this one a little bit longer, a little bit taller. And we'll draw from the top over to this side. And from the bottom to the same one, same vanishing point. I'm doing this rather quickly and not all that perfectly. If I'm going too fast, you can pause the video, or also, if you want to take more time to make yours more accurate. Best way to draw these lines more accurately is to use a ruler or a T-square. So there's one side. I should have taken it up a little higher because I ended up drawing it almost exactly on this line. So that, I guess, will help us, but it also might confuse some of you. This line here was already drawn from this cube. So normally we would take this corner and we would draw a line. Let's just go ahead and we'll just do that. We'll just make another one from over here. Just accentuate that it's a separate line. So there's one edge. Corner goes to the opposite vanishing point. Now we'll make another edge over here. Again, vertical line. Again, parallel to that one. And it's going to go over there. So you can take this and build a whole bunch of different things. One kind of fun thing that people do. Well, these are both. Let me point out something else. These two, I drew them below the horizon line. Now, what if I'm gonna accentuate and just show you? There's the horizon line. What if I want to draw one above the horizon line? Well, you can do the same thing. I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna make them smaller, kind of make them look like they're in the distance. But I'm gonna go to the same vanishing point. It's gonna be like, kind of like something floating up in the sky. And then opposite side. Something like that. And then the top. Something like that. And then we'll draw on the sides. Maybe make this a little wider. And then it goes to the opposite vanishing point. It's going to be something like that. Not very clean. All right, so above the horizon line, you're going to be looking up at the bottom of it. Below the horizon line, you're going to be looking down at the top of it. And then you also can cross the horizon line. So let me do one more up in the sky, and then I'll do one crossing the horizon line. So let's draw one here. Opposite vanishing point on both sides. Like that. All right, so let's draw one more, but this one's going to be in front of the horizon line. And you know what? I think I'll do it on a new. Do it on a new spot. I'll make two new vanishing points. And this time we're going to go across the horizon line. So we've got above, below, and now across. It's the same technique for all of them, but when you're first learning it, sometimes it's a little confusing. So when you're drawing one across the horizon line, you're looking up at the building and you're also looking down at the building. So you don't see the top of the building and you don't see the bottom of the building. You just see the sides. So horizon line, connect, connect, connect. I said horizon line. This is a vertical line that crosses the horizon.